This is Paul Zig. For those of you that have watched my channel before, you may recall this graphic of my motorcycle camping routes through 49 United States and all 10 Canadian provinces. This still leaves one state unvisited until now, Hawaii. The following video records my 2-day visit to Hawaii, the island of Oahu specifically. The first part of this video captures my stay in Waikiki and my visit to Pearl Harbor. For those interested only in motorcycling, I will leave a timestamp for the start of the second day of my visit to Oahu, where I ride a Yamaha Bolt around the island. In any event, I hope that you will join me for one or both of these days as I explore the wonders and beauty of Hawaii. On my first full day on Oahu, I took a transit bus in the morning to Pearl Harbor to visit the USS Arizona Memorial, which commemorates the 1,177 lives lost on the Arizona on 7 December 1941. In total, around 2,403 persons died during the attack on Pearl Harbor. I also wanted to visit the USS Missouri, a battleship that was commissioned in 1944 and served as the location for the surrender of the Japanese in Tokyo Harbor, officially ending World War II. The memorial also has the submarine museum USS Bowfin, along with 52 placards commemorating the United States submarines sunk during World War II, 48 of which were in the Pacific Theater, representing over 3,500 casualties. As well, there are placards with the names of the casualties incurred on each of the ships and facilities in Pearl Harbor on that fateful day. To visit the Arizona Memorial requires a water taxi ride operated by the U.S. Navy, and to visit the USS Missouri involves a bus ride for the visitor center. Approximately 2 to 9 quarts of oil seeps out of the Arizona each day, with an estimated 500 to 600,000 gallons remaining. The leakage may continue for hundreds of years. There are several museums on the premises which have artifacts from that fateful day. This Japanese torpedo from an Akagi bomber located near the USS Oklahoma's mooring was still armed when it was dredged up in the harbor over 50 years after the attack. Mighty Mo. Chester Nimitz. USS Missouri is perhaps most famous for serving during the surrender ceremony of Japan to the United States and its allies on the 2nd of September 1945, and this deck placard marks the location. Captain's cabin. Artifacts from the Japanese during the surrender ceremony. Pen used on the right, and eyeglasses belonging to one of the Japanese representatives on the left. We're in officer's country. This is a junior grade officer's cabin. Cabin for a dental officer. We're moving aft. This is the flagstaff at the stern of Mighty Mo. She's an Iowa-class battleship, just like the USS New Jersey is. I'm aft looking forward. The crew's mess. The donut shop. Marine crew berthing area. Crew berthing. See a turret here on the right. Test office. Back in officer's country is the XO's office. Berthing area and head. This is a view towards the bow from the open bridge. You can see the Arizona Memorial out there. That flagstaff apparently came off of the ship, is now used at the memorial itself. Even today, over 80 years since the end of World War II, Pearl Harbor is still a very large naval and aviation base, berthing many Navy ships. This is stepping into the navigation bridge area. Here's the armored conning tower. Look how thick the steel is. I don't know how many inches it is, but it's pretty gigantic. The helm station right there. Here's a viewport coming out of the tower. USS Missouri's commanding officer chair, so he has a good view. This is the captain's at sea cabin, just right behind the bridge, so he's available on quick notice. Chart room, right behind the bridge. View down on the 5-inch guns. I'm at the Aviation Museum, and that is an authentic Japanese Zero. It's an authentic Zero, except for the fact that it's got a Pratt & Whitney engine in it when they restored it. This is the remnants of a Japanese Kate aircraft. It was their first all-metal aircraft in the Japanese naval arsenal. Here's a piece of the USS Arizona. This is the V-25 ruptured duck, and if my history is correct, it was used in the Doolittle raid, first attack on mainland Japan after bombing Pearl Harbor. They have some Christmas thing going on for the kids here today, so they're playing Christmas music, which seems totally out of sync with the War Museum, but World War II naval flight uniform. 13. And right next to it, a 14. It's a TBM Avenger. George H.W. Bush flew a plane very similar to this one. It was downed in World War II. And the Blue Angels F-18 Hornet. Beautiful aircraft. Very cool. I wonder what they have in store for this aircraft. The ubiquitous B-17. This is a MiG-15 that came from a defecting North Korean pilot. It's on loan from the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Ohio. This is a North American F-86 Sabre, built shortly after World War II. These windows, which came from hangar doors that were hit by Japanese bullets during World War II. That is the end of the visit to the Pearl Harbor National Memorial. I then took a transit bus back to Waikiki, grabbed some dinner, prepped my motorcycle gear, and the next day I began a full-day motorcycle ride around Oahu. Okay guys, here we go. 50th state, Yamaha Bolt is going to be the motorcycle. Let's take a quick peek at it. Just about 4/10 of a mile from my hotel, and it's a bobber. First time I've ever ridden a bobber. So that'll be a new experience.
He hadn't ridden in a couple years. He was with his dad was behind him on his gold wing. He was very embarrassed when he came back. He's the younger guy.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
For some reason the GPS on my phone is not working. Hopefully it's just having trouble getting a signal here. We'll find out in a few minutes. So I don't really have a map, but this is my ride for today from 9 to 4. I'll have to go up the east side of the island and then back down through the center of it. That's the plan. Let's rock and roll. Here we go. I'm headed to Diamond Head. This is a very different experience for me on this bike. A little different than an adventure bike. You always got to be really careful with these rental bikes the first few miles until I get the hang of it. Brakes and the clutch. A lot more growl than my Suzuki V-Strom. It's a bigger engine, of course. This has also got the V-twin power plant. This is going to be a great day. Weather's supposed to be nice. Highs near low 80s. And it's beautiful out. There's Diamond Head. It's odd having my knees as high as they are. It's actually nice not, with good weather, not having the windscreen because it really dumps the air on my chest and cools me down. Sunday morning. State number 50. Hawaii. I was so close to Diamond Head I couldn't really see it. I was at the bottom of it. All I could see were like cliffs overhanging. Don't really have the day planned out much, other than kind of follow the shoreline. Seat on this bike isn't too bad, at least for a short period of time. We'll see how I am this afternoon. Is that for a view back here? Alright, first scenic lookout. That's where I came from. Wow, very cool. This is where the famous blowhole is located, to my right. I saw it just as I got walking up here. Here comes a wave. Let's see if this does it. Just a little bit, but not much. There we go. Here's a wave. Let's see what this does. There it goes. Hey, that kind of qualifies. This is just a little further down the road. That's gorgeous. an overused adjective, but just beautiful. And I am getting on 83 North on the East Coast, headed to the Northeast. I did not download a map to my old iPhone 8 Plus. Thought I did. I picked the wrong island, stupidly. So I ended up using my iPhone 14 for a while, which I did not want to do, given that it's my newer phone, but then realized I could use my 14 as a hotspot for my 8 Plus. So now my 14 is doing the navigation in my pocket, and it's sending the signal to my 8 Plus here on the steering. So at least I have my old phone exposed to the elements. It's funny how low the seat height is. So my knee is bent when I'm flat-footing on the ground, which I'm not used to with the taller bikes. This bike is great for cruising around town and maybe for a day, but certainly wouldn't want to do long distance with it. It's a nice bike though. Yamaha makes nice motorcycles. It's about as simple a dash as you can get. It's got a trip meter, a couple of them, an odometer, a clock, speed, fuel. Don't really have a clue where it is until that light starts blinking. I'm told that it has a range of 120 to 150 miles. This bike is only a 5-speed, so my left foot keeps hunting for that 6th gear. Alright, I'm out of the city for a bit. Very scenic. Bike has a lot more vibration to it than the DL650. Handlebars, don't feel it so much in the foot pegs, definitely in the handlebars and on my seat. Let's take a stop here. Kualoa Regional Park. Look how turquoise that water is. Still heading north, North Shore. It's funny, when I get back on the bike, I'm so used to climbing up and over the Suzuki, and this bike, I just kind of step over it. No climb at all. It's a very different experience. Center of gravity feels very low on this bike compared to mine. So this bike's actually, I think, 50 pounds heavier than the Suzuki, but it feels a little bit lighter. Well, it is noontime. 3 hours into my 8-hour ride. Still headed north on the Kamehameha Highway. Pretty cool. Banzai Beach. Beautiful views, but the traffic is just it's like bumper to bumper. I think it's about as fast as I've gone all day. And there's actually a clear lane ahead. Head south back towards Honolulu. This landscape's a little different. It's farmland. Man, that's like something you can see in the Midwest. State Highway 99 headed south. Got on the expressway H1 heading into Honolulu. It's about 10 miles from here. It's a little bit before 3 o'clock and uncertain how long it's going to take me to get to the motorcycle shop. What I decided to do is plug that into my GPS and then head on this Route 61 North, which is basically away from the motorcycle shop. And I'll keep riding away from it until it says that my expected time of arrival, including a U-turn to go in the correct direction, is a little bit before 4 o'clock, which is when it's due. Very pretty. The road's a little faster and wider than I thought it would be. I thought it would be one lane in each direction. Hitting the tunnel. And another tunnel. Carving right through that ridge of mountains that runs north-south on Oahu. That's the east coast that I traveled through earlier this morning. The traffic in the opposite direction doesn't look too bad, so I'll just keep going a little bit and then make a U-turn and head back the way I just came. Let's take a peek over here. Yeah, how cool is that? So I turned around to get back on that 61 heading towards Honolulu. This day's starting to close in on the end. 110 miles, my 50th state. Here we go, back to the mountains. Kind of noisy with traffic, but it's pretty. Through the tunnels. Back into Honolulu and Waikiki. Gotta fuel up before I get back. What is it? Can't tell. A little bit before 3:30.
After returning the motorcycle, I returned to the beach and said goodbye to Honolulu and Hawaii while watching the sunset. But this was just the beginning of my journey. Please join me in the coming weeks as I head to the Southern Hemisphere for a much more ambitious motorcycle camping ride where the Southern Cross graces the night skies.